What is up, YouTube? So today what I got behind me is the Milwaukee chainsaw, and I want to do a little review on it and see what you all think and how it performs. This is my first time bringing it out, so we'll see if it holds up to our camping trip and what we need it for. So as you can see, this whole tree was that big, and this little chainsaw cut this whole thing in half. Just got rid of it, dude. No, I'm just kidding. This would take a big chainsaw to cut through that. Even if you cut half and the other half, there is no way that this thing would cut through this thing. You might be able to chop sections out and then hopefully it falls down, but yeah, ain't gonna happen. It's all fuel by Milwaukee, 18-volt battery, brushless. One thing I like about Milwaukee that other companies are not doing is staying consistent with their battery. Milwaukee has the M18s, and then they just increased their amp hour battery. So this is a 12.0 output. You have the brushless motor, which is dope, and then you have your oil level, so you fill this up real easy. Just pop it loose, twist it, and pour it in. It has a little connector so you don't lose it, and then you fill it back up for your bar oil. That's the only maintenance you have on this besides just cleaning it up after you're done. You have your I believe this was an Oregon bar. It doesn't say anywhere, but I think the specs did say it was Oregon. I'll confirm that if it's different. Milwaukee has their trademark on it. The chain is a little bit thinner than your traditional gas chain. Here's the specs on it. It's a 16-inch bar. You have right here your adjustment for the bar setup. Loosen these and then you could adjust it right there. The handle is centered up. It is offset. I think it's due to a right-handed grip. I could be wrong. Someone that knows more about chainsaws could elaborate on that. But I believe it's for your knuckles, so that way they're protected when you're gripping it. All your specs are on there on the side. I mean, you want to run the 12 amp hour battery. So there's two sets of the ones with the 21 batteries versus the 18650s, and that's the 12 and the 6 .0s, and these have their smart technology on them. So if you're running a certain type of tool that requires more juice, these will hold up to it. The 9 amp hour, the 5 amp hour, and then the smaller ones have 18650s power in them, so they're hindered by their size, and they won't allow you to get more power all at once due to the size of the battery. So keep that in mind when purchasing batteries. These retail for $200 a piece. If you check on eBay, you could get pretty good deals for like $150. I've seen them as low as $100 or offer up. The way this works is you have a safety here, trigger here. It will not turn on by just pushing in the button. What you got to do is you got to engage the safety mechanism right here. So you engage it, you push in on the button, and then it takes off. Okay, so that's pretty good. You could regulate the speed by barely pulling on it, and then you pull it, give it a little bit more gas, and it'll speed up. If you give it full throttle, it'll give you all the power. It's not instant stop for the braking, which is okay. Typically your wood will slow you down anyway, and it's automatic lube. The cool thing also about this chainsaw is the bucking spikes. Usually the electric chainsaws do not have metal bucking spikes. and they have the plastic ones. I've even seen some gas ones with the plastic bucking spikes. But overall, this is a lightweight chainsaw that you don't have to worry about tuning like the gas ones. So the bad thing about gas, oh, look at that bug, dude. But the bad thing about gas is if your jets are clogged due to, you know, your fuel sitting in the bowl for a while, you won't be able to start it as fast. You got to clean those out, and it just takes a lot of maintenance. Also, if you say you start it up and you're in high altitude, you got to jet it to the altitude because you'll bog out, and it's just a pain in the butt to sit there and fiddle with that stuff when the electric will start up every time right away, and the only liquid you have is the bar oil, and that's it. You don't have to worry about carrying gas with you or anything, especially if you're clearing trails. This is perfect. If you're doing like extensive cutting, because I think it makes 150 cuts or something like that out of 8-inch or 10-inch wood. They claim hardwood. There's some other channels that actually show this in action where they're cutting a whole bunch of wood and they'll pile it up like so high and then over, but it's a different like hardness of wood. So, and usually they'll get more than 150 cuts, maybe like 250 cuts or whatever, but it all depends on the size and diameter of the wood, and the hardness of the wood will factor into how many cuts you get out of it. Okay, but I recommend the 12.0 or the 6.0. The 9.0 is recommended if you don't have the 21 size batteries in there, but I do recommend the, you know, the 12.0 and the 6.0 because it'll give you the full power at once. 6.0 may not last as long as the 9 amp hour 9.0, but at least you get the full power, and so keep that in mind. So let's get to cutting some wood. The proper protection. I'm just making a few cuts, so I'm not cutting too much. I'm actually going to cut what's already down because that's fair game. And also, if you're cutting stuff, make sure the eye protection and then the leg protection, like the chaps, the assless chaps that you could get to protect you, and steel toe boots are all recommended if you're doing like actual cutting for extensive amount of time, or even stuff like this, just so you don't get hurt. But keep that in mind when you're buying a chainsaw. I'm just making a few cuts for the campfire, so we should be okay. So the way these bucking spikes are designed are in this direction, and what that's made for is you lift the chainsaw like that, cutting into it. Once it goes even, you're able to push down, forward, slide back, push down, slide back. So that way you're doing this motion, and it's working this blade back and forth to dig it in deeper. And as you push forward, so you're rotating this this bar downward, it's gripping into here so it doesn't jump back at you. And then when you cut back down, they're at this angle, so they're sliding along the wood. And when you press forward again, it digs into the bucking spikes dig into the side of the wood, dropping, allowing you to push down into the wood without this gripping and pushing back again. That's pretty fast, dude. So as you can see, it chopped through those logs pretty quickly with ease. But then again, you know, this is not hardwood. So, but that's what we're gonna need for our firewood. Good.
Come on. Go around.
Perfect round, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, so to make it torch. Alright, so that's going to complete today's video. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting, hit that subscribe button somewhere on your channel front page, and hit that subscribe button. Leave comments down below if you want to ask anything about this saw, and if I can, I'll try to help. If not, someone else can. I'm pretty sure there's more knowledgeable people that are more in tune with this type of stuff. So definitely leave it in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. It's a quick overview. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one, guys.
Show me love and I'm more.